Joining me now is Ohio Congressman and House Intelligence Committee and Armed Services Committee member Mike Turner. Good morning to you, Congressman. Let's go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Sure thing. Let's go ahead and start with this notion of having a 9/11 style commission to look into the Capitol Hill riots. Obviously, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered here, but some of the blame could even be shifted on the Democrats themselves. Who knew what when they knew it in the days leading up to it? We do understand that there were certain pieces of intelligence information that necessarily were not acted on. So there are a lot of questions to answer here if you want to open Pandora's box.
Absolutely. Well, I think there are two components here that are incredibly important. One is this is a great admission by Nancy Pelosi that the impeachment was political theater. She said that we need this commission to be able to get to the truth after the trial. Well, clearly that means that, there wasn't an investigation. There wasn't the type of work that should have been done in the House before there was even a vote on impeachment. And secondly, this investigation should be a security investigation. It should look at what happened that day. And of course, as we know, the chief of police has said that he had communicated with the Sergeant of Arms and requested National Guard, and it was turned down. Well, the Sergeant of Arms is unlikely to do that without turning to his boss, who is Nancy Pelosi. So it's very likely that we're going to find that this leads right to the Speaker's office herself. And then at that point, we're going to have that Nancy Pelosi impeached Donald Trump because she failed to let the National Guard be present at the Capitol. All of these things are going to be questions that have to be investigated, real time, real looking at all of the communications that were happening. But also you go to the issue of, it is terrible imagery that we have the Capitol today with a wall around it and barbed wire. This is absolutely the Democrats communicating that they're afraid of the American public. They have now metal detectors in front of the House floor saying that they're afraid of their fellow members. This is a time really where we need to be coming together and not projecting that in our democracy we're afraid of each other.
Well, speaking of that, Congressman, your reaction to the fact that the National Guard troops potentially could stay in Washington, D.C. until the fall with that extended security presence there. Some are arguing that it's not necessary, that the message of unity is resonating more and that there are no security threats at this time that at least need that much attention in a sense.
Even after 9/11, where the Capitol itself was at risk, we didn't do this. And this is communicating that Nancy Pelosi is afraid of the American public. It is wrong. The threat is not there. Our democracy is open and needs to be showing that it is embraced by the country, and we do have unity. Not that we need walls and barbed wire. Remember, this is a speaker who said that walls were immoral, that we didn't need a wall to close our border, but she wants a wall to close off the Capitol from the American public. This is clearly wrong.
That's a good point. And I know the Capitol is different because it's sacred. And so I understand that in asking this question. But as we saw this play out, violence play out across the country in several cities, we didn't see this kind of police force presence. We didn't see this kind of defending of certain cities. And there were many people who were very scared and were calling for it. Yet you're seeing it in this specific situation. And there could be reasons. I'm not going to speculate, but some people are. With respect to, who is starting the trouble in a respective place, that dictates the kind of security you're going to see.
Well, for example, and just to go right with what your analogy was, if you look at when the White House was circled and the president had to be taken into a secure location and it looked as if the White House itself might fall and the National Guard had to be called out, the president was criticized for engaging the National Guard. The mayor of D.C., the leadership of the Democrat House did not want additional protections for the White House itself. And yet in an instant, we have barbed wire and a wall and National Guard all around the Capitol. Clearly, there are two different standards.
That does seem to be true. Congressman Mike Turner, great to see you this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.